Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, depending on where in the world you're connecting from. Again, my name is Antonio.sangio. You guys might know me already. I practice and teach introspective hypnosis. I am now also teaching past life therapy. The reason why I wanted to record this video today is because, as you might have noticed, I posted a couple of videos with testimonials from people that took the past life therapy course. At this point, I have only been offering it to those that took the introspective hypnosis course, but now I decided to open this type of course, this technique, to people that maybe didn't take introspective hypnosis, but they know some other techniques. They have been practicing hypnosis or facilitating sessions for some time already. Again, the reason why I wanted to record this video is because a few people have been sending me emails. Antonio, what is past life therapy? Antonio, is this a past life regression? Is this more of the same that I've seen in other courses or people practice? Or even you have listed on your website past life regression. Is this the same? What is past life therapy? And I don't blame you if the name past life therapy is confusing you. It confused me at the beginning. This is a translation of a technique that I learned from my teacher, José Luis Cabuli, Terapia de Vidas Pasadas. I translated it to past life therapy. And number one, this technique is not based on past life regressions. Let's start with that. It is not based on past life regressions. Number two, it is not based on any religious beliefs. If you don't believe, if you're Catholic, you're Christian, you're Muslim, you can have this type of session. If you don't believe in past lives, you can have this type of session, because this session is not based in past lives. We're going to run into these things that we call past lives as a result of following the symptom. The symptom is the thread that is going to take us to the root cause, the event that originated the symptom. But the symptom could have originated a few days ago, a few years ago, maybe during childhood, maybe during our time in the womb, maybe in a past life, what we call past life, but also even after we died, after our body died in a past life. So let's start with some concepts, right? And I think I have mentioned this before in many of my videos. We understand with this concept that time does not exist. Linear time is just an illusion. Past, present, and future. It is just a creation of the human brain to understand time. But the truth is that everything is happening now. For the soul, actually, everything is happening now. If we speak about quantum time, past, present, and future dissolve in the now. Okay, Antonio, so why is this different? I heard that concept that time does not exist, but how can this affect us? Well, the fact that the soul doesn't understand time is the issue that creates these symptoms for us. How come? Let's say that you lived alive in Egypt 3,000 years ago. For your soul, it's not that it took place 3,000 years ago. For your soul, that life just actually took place now. What's more, if you experienced a traumatic event, an event that your soul was not able to process at three levels: physical, emotional, and mental, part of your soul, part of your energy got trapped in that life. And for your soul, it's not only that it just take place now, even though it happened 3,000 years ago. For your soul, that is still happening. How come? Well, there is the reason why sometimes, well, let's say that you had that past life in Egypt and you were buried alive, right? You were not able to process that event properly because maybe you were focused on surviving or being able to breathe, or maybe you were thinking about your wife and your kids and who's going to take care of them. And while you were focusing just on that, you were not able to process everything else that was taking place at that moment, especially what was happening to the body as if it was dying. So when you died, that experience was interrupted. You were not able to process that experience correctly. Besides, now you have a pending issue, right? You were not able to say goodbye to your wife, to your kids, or you were thinking who's going to take care of them. But now, since that event is pending, part of your energy got trapped in that event. And even though you have reincarnated in your current body, and you might have a different gender now, if you go through a similar event in this life, and when I say a similar event, I'm thinking about it of a similar emotion. Let's say that you need to get away from your family for a reason, or you're getting a divorce, you're forced to kind of go away from your kids. This symptom is going to be triggered. Again, the soul remembers. So what's going to happen when you get into an elevator, when you get into a plane or a train, you're going to feel exactly the same thing you were feeling when you were buried alive. You will not be able to breathe, your heart is going to start beating fast, and you're going to have all these symptoms that for the current body and the current context might not have sense. Those symptoms don't make sense. And that is the type of symptoms that our clients bring to a past life therapy session, right? So the only conscious thing that our clients bring for this type of sessions are the symptoms. We need to follow the symptom and find the event that originated it. I just gave you an example of a past life, but hey, you can go back to the womb. What if the issue that you have is that while you were in your mother's womb, your mom was thinking about having an abortion? Or maybe your mother thought, hey, this baby is a mistake, I need to get rid of it, right? At this moment, being in the womb, because you're not a toy, you're not an action figure, yes, you have the body of a baby, but there is a soul inside of that baby that has had many lives before and have some lessons to learn, some missions to accomplish, I don't know, karma, contracts, all that stuff, their own soul entrapment, fears, phobias, sadness, all of that the soul is bringing from previous lives. So what happens, right? At that moment, your soul is thinking, okay, what do I have to do for my mother not to kill me? I better not move. I don't want him to know I'm here because I can get killed. What if your father said, for example, I want this one to be a boy, and you know you're going to be a girl? Your soul might be making this decision already. And I'm just not making it up. I'm giving examples based on what my own clients experience, right? So the soul might be thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be a girl. My father is going to be disappointed. So when once I am born, I'm going to be my father's little boy. I want to make it up for him. So the soul in the womb starts already making decisions that is going to affect them as soon as they're born and for the rest of their lives. Why? Because, again, everything is happening now. This is called soul entrapment in the womb. There are many other things that can affect the baby. What others are saying, what the grandparents were saying, once you're born, if you were taken away in, put away in an incubator, you're going to experience separation. All of this is going to affect that, and it's going to generate a behavior that without having any control. What if, for example, your mother was thinking about getting a divorce and leaving your father because your father was abusive to her, right? But once she realized she was pregnant, she said, I'm not able to leave this guy, because if I leave this guy, how am I going to support myself? And I have 2 more kids. So no, I'm staying. So you as a baby, as a soul, you're thinking, because of me, my mother is going through this suffering. So once I'm born, I'm going to make it up for her. I will make whatever it takes to make her happy, because she's suffering because of me. So once you're born, you engage in this pleasing attitude, always trying to resolve everything for your mother, even forgetting about yourself, without having any control. Yeah, I'm not saying that's what we all kids do, but you have people saying, I forget about myself. I'm always trying to resolve every issue for my mother, and this is causing problems with me. Soul entrapment in the womb. You can also get trapped in traumatic events, maybe car accidents, maybe rape, molestation. And for the soul, all of this, if those events were not processed properly, these traumatic events, all of those events are happening at the same time. Antonio, what do you mean? Right. So what we call past lives are not past lives, really, are lives in other timelines, right? For the soul, that's still happening. You could be trapped in the womb. You could be, you might have fragmented. So there's also soul fragmentation. You might have fragmented while you're being, an example, you're being raped or molested, or fragmented when you had a car accident. And sometimes the soul, when the soul goes through these very, very, very painful events, the soul sometimes fragments. Part of the soul that doesn't want to feel or experience that breaks and leaves. So we get affected with all of these things and many other things. Which other things, Antonio? Well, whatever we say, or whatever we said in past lives, we just said it. Think about it. Whenever we make a promise in the past life, whenever we make vows or pacts, or whatever we are saying the moment our body is dying, those are conscious decisions of the mind. Who's saying those? The body or the soul? The soul. And the soul brings all of those things to this life. So what I'm trying to explain and explain this idea is that we can have all of these things happening at the same time. Entrapment in this life in Egypt where I was buried alive, trapped, my soul entrapment in the womb, maybe fragmentation during a time somebody was raped, or a car accident, or maybe you started a pattern of ending your relationships with your partners because in a past life you said to a previous lover, I will always be waiting for you. And that's exactly what your soul is doing now, even though it's a different body, different context. But at a subconscious level, your soul is saying, I cannot engage with anybody. I cannot marry anybody else because I am breaking this promise. Anyway, so this technique has a different approach. Kabuli will say, Jose Luis Kabuli, my teacher, will say, this is not hypnosis because there is no induction to begin with. There's no induction. But as we have our clients close their eyes and we start asking the right questions and the necessary questions to help them make conscious of what is happening at the subconscious level, they get into an altered state of consciousness or an expanded state of awareness, meaning trance. Antonio, what do you mean by saying make conscious what is unconscious? Right, remember, the only thing that is conscious at this time for us are the symptoms. Think of an iceberg, right? The tip of the iceberg is the only part of the iceberg that we see, but it's only a small portion of it. Everything else is under the surface. The same thing happens with these traumatic events. We only see the symptom, which is the only conscious part, but the event that originated that symptom is taking place at the subconscious level. As we follow the symptom, we're going to get the root cause. So we can define past life therapy as helping our clients make conscious what it is unconscious. Time does not exist. Everything is happening now. If you have the symptom with you from a previous experience, that means that the past is not the past. The past is with you now in the form of symptoms. So really, this is a new approach, and this is why I like this technique so much, is that really there's no traveling in time. It's not going to the past. It's not a regression. You don't need relaxation of the body, right? The client saying, no, I'm not able to relax in order to get into a trance. No, because if you relax somebody, you're getting rid of the symptom. And the symptom is what's going to take them to the event that originated the symptom, right? So it's a different approach. It's a different technique. It has lots of tools. I just gave you this much of information compared to what this course covers. And this is why I'm asking that people with experience, right? You're familiar with facilitating sessions to take this course, because if you're new, you don't have any idea of this type of sessions, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. This type of technique deals with clients at a deeper level. We find a lot of traumatic events, sad memories. So the sessions could be very deep, very emotional, but there's a lot of healing here. And this is what is great. It's not only me saying it, you can listen to some of the people that already took the class and benefit from learning this new technique. Anyway, if you're interested in learning this technique, I scheduled one for, I think it's last week of January. There's module 1. I teach it in 2 modules. Module 1 is in January and module 2 is in April. And I only allow a limited number of people in the class because there's a lot of practice and there's a lot of demos and there's a lot of concepts. So it's very intensive. What else? People that took introspective hypnosis, I am giving them a discount. You can register with a discount. Just let me know. What I found was the best of the best is being able to combine the 2 techniques, past life therapy and introspective hypnosis. When you have all of those tools available to you whenever you have a client in front of you, whenever they go to different situations, including dealing with lost souls, which also a past life therapy does the same thing. It deals with lost souls. You have all of these tools that are going to give you the flexibility that you need in order to facilitate any kind of session, really. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I hope this explanation is clear, that it helps a little bit to understand what past life therapy is. I'm really excited about these classes. I'm grateful to my teacher, Aurelio Mejia, who taught me introspective hypnosis. Actually, it was a different name back then, but I added a few things, so I call it introspective hypnosis. And to Jose Luis Cabuli, past life therapy. But again, both techniques are going to give you a lot of tools. But some of my students said they consider past life therapy a next level, a little bit more advanced. So again, up to you. If you consider that this will be a good technique for you, for your practice, feel free to contact me if you have any questions, or register if you want to take part of the class. So thank you again, and until next time, bye-bye.